Let it go. Let it go. Don't you hate that? I hate when people say that. It makes you feel like they're disregarding how you feel. Sometimes you feel like you've got to process things that just can't be let go. If that sounds like you, then according to Johns Hopkins University, you might be among 62% of Americans who find it difficult to let go of unhealthy emotions. It's a big number. Unresolved conflict can go deeper than you may realize. It may be affecting your physical health. I didn't know that. Did you know that? It makes sense that unhealthy thoughts and emotions can eventually affect you physically, but unresolved conflict can also affect your physical health. Check out the article in the link below to learn more. Letting go is learning to detach ourselves from expectations, outcomes, or beliefs. When you're attached to these outcomes, your perspective about what's acceptable is limited. You can't see things because your perspective is stuck in a place of not letting go of things. This often leaves us feeling empty and in need of something more. When we are unable to detach ourselves from certain expectations, standards, or beliefs, we experience anxiety, depression, isolation, disconnection, loneliness, and other negative emotional states. And it's happening all in our heads. We limit ourselves because of what we're attached to and what those attachments mean in terms of what we expect in our lives, outcomes, things we think we might want or need. Here's an example. When I was dancing, I hated auditioning. I hated to go in there and compete and have to show off what you have to wear, what you sing, learn the choreography fast enough, were you standing in the right place in the room. All of these dynamics were really grating on me. I never got used to the feeling of being rejected. I guess I got used to the feeling of being rejected. It never felt any less. I always felt the rejection. I guess I got used to feeling terrible about being rejected. I was so over it. And I remember I thought I had to compete with the people in the room. That was a belief that I was stuck to. An audition meant competing with people that showed up. Fast forward decades later, after I had been responsible for casting The Lion King for many years, I learned being behind the audition table, that is not what's happening. That is at all. You're not competing with the people in the room. You're trying to show the people behind the table that you're what they need, and that you have no control over. All you can do is go in the room, learn the combination, try to sing well, do your best, train and prepare, and hope that you fit the vision of the person that's casting the show. And quite often that was determined by costume sizes, the height of the cast, what is the style, the look, your physical appearance. That was part of the whole process of auditioning. And all the while I'm thinking, I'm not good enough, I'm not good as him, I'm not fast as him, I'm not doing the choreography well enough. It wasn't true. And how I suffered. How I made myself suffer in the room, the nerves before the audition, waiting for my turn, doing the dance, waiting on the side. Are they going to call my number? Do I get a call? If I get a call back, what do I sing? What do I wear? All of that stuff, when in fact, none of that mattered. Of course you want to sing a song that's appropriate. Of course you want to dress a certain way. You want to make sure that you're presenting yourself in the best possible light. But that's all you can do. But I spent those years of my life miserable. It's part of the reason why I stopped dancing. So the doubt in my ability, under the gun, in the room when I was auditioning, had an impact on where my career went. If I had only known that I was stuck to a belief that was not reality. Yeah, I spent a greater part of my life dancing, being miserable about the feelings that were evoked within me by the pressures of having to compete with things that, in truth, looking back, I wasn't competing with at all. So if you are watching this and you're a dancer, singer, actor who auditions, you have no control over what happens behind that table. All you can do is prepare, make sure you have a great song, make sure you have your training, make sure you can handle what's happening in the room, and then it's up to the people behind the table. Do you fit their vision of the show? Even if people show up that are more talented than you are, that have more training, that are stronger dancers, stronger singers, they may not be what they're looking for. You may walk in there and be the role they are looking for, even if you don't sing as well or dance as well. Remember this, because this stuck in these beliefs can have an impact on your life. So think about beliefs that you might be stuck in that is coloring what's happening in your life, and what would happen if you step back from that belief and let that belief go and work on the part of that you can control. Because what you're holding on to most likely is not in control. So you want to work on things you can control and let the rest go. I'm sorry I'm saying that, but you have to let the rest go. You do. I call them lions. Life challenges, unchanging circumstances. It's more than a metaphor. It's a way of life. Self-assessing the need to let go. Holding on to past traumas and disappointments can keep you from learning to walk with life's challenges. How do you know if you're not letting go of things that are holding you back? Do you notice yourself feeling negative emotions such as bitterness and anger in your relationships? Do you feel stuck in certain emotional states and cannot connect or enjoy the present moment? Are you feeling depressed or irritable or anxious for what seems like no reason? Perhaps you feel distance growing between you and loved ones. Walking with life challenges requires inspiration, patience, and some emotional regulation. If only I had been able to emotional regulate better than I did when I was younger and dancing, having the thrill of a lifetime. I was so stuck in some of the emotional challenge of all of it. Check out episode 1 for an action plan for walking with those kinds of challenges. Building up resilience, as we talked about in episode 4, can help us navigate and find the strength and fortitude to get through these challenges, especially when the emotional regulation is not as strong as it could be. Makes them a bit easier to manage. Doesn't change the challenges. That auditioning, that was intense, but being able to navigate the resilience of knowing that you're going to get through all of that can really help you feel better about yourself as you're going through the experience. If you think this emotional roller coaster and these challenges, these lions, are too much to handle, there might be something holding you back from your full potential. These are not easy questions to answer yourself. They don't come overnight, so don't get frustrated. Just be open to the thoughts you're having. Learning to let go of the things that do not serve your well-being is the key to the freedom you are looking for. The person who suffers the most is you. When we hold on to these painful memories, these painful circumstances, these parts of our lives that we just don't want to let go, it affects us. It can feel lonely and isolating. Remember that. If you can't let it go, it's going to hurt. That's not a judgment. That's a noticing. Just notice if that's what you're feeling and if that's what's happening. Without self-judgment, when you're unable to manage this stuff, these challenges or walk with these lions, it makes it easy for self-doubt to creep in with feelings of hopelessness. The example that most of us can relate to is love. If we hold on to the broken heart, it makes it difficult to love again. If you're afraid of what might happen, you're projecting into the future, you're catastrophizing. What if it hasn't happened and it might not happen? And if it does, you've already proven if you've been brokenhearted before, you can get through it. Try not to let those emotions and those painful memories color what's to come next for you, or you will block your blessings of love. This I have done. I'm not going to get too much into it because I just don't like talking about it, but I have certainly had my share of being blocked and ghosted and brokenhearted. It's hard to try it again. You think that the more it happens, the more resilient you'd come and the less you'd care, but it kind of hurts every time. You don't get used to the hurt, do you? We just feel it. And we have to be willing to feel that again. Don't be stuck in the belief that I'll never be hurt again. I don't want to be hurt again. And I don't want to hurt again. I don't want to hurt someone else. You can love responsibly and behave responsibly without taking responsibility. We're adults. We go into these things with open minds, open hearts. We try to give of ourselves. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. We have to be willing to risk that. If we are not, then we are not going to experience the fullness of life. I'm not saying I'm taking my own advice here, but in theory, if you can let go of the past, you can love again. We can get stuck and block ourselves in what we think love should be, could be, would be, instead of loving what is right there in front of you. The glory of love is worth experiencing, even if it doesn't last forever. Don't forget that. And I won't either. I'll try to remind myself of that too. Experience healthy relationships. Boost your mental health and feel connected to people in the world around you. Say goodbye to anxiety, stress, and negative feelings. Reverse feelings of depression and bring joy into your life. Lower blood pressure. Strengthen your immune system, improve your heart health, and boost your confidence and levels of self-esteem. When we let go of things, we can start to build confidence in ourselves. We learn that we can do things that we didn't think we had the internal or external resources to do. Letting go improves our vitality and well-being, allowing us to feel more present and conscious of ourselves and the world around us. In making this video, I had to think really hard about the things that in my life that had held me back, that I was thinking about, that were creeping in from self-doubt. There are certainly things that some of them are too personal to get into on video, things that hurt me, things that betrayed me, people that have betrayed me, situations that were unfortunate and unfair. I just play them like movies. I go through the memory. I haven't forgotten them. In some cases, I haven't forgiven. I am detached from them. Like memories of my parents' divorce. I forgive them. They were young and doing the best that they could. And their friction, they protected us from that. But there's some stuff there that I hold on to sometimes. The bullies in grade school or high school, the things people said about me that still feel like yesterday when I think about them. The racist comments people have said, the homophobic comments people have said, the things people said about me that I heard about, burns, right? It can spin. The times I was robbed or mugged or held up at gunpoint. Yeah, I remember that. Ugly. I've lost thousands of dollars being duped by people I was trying to help. I was really just helping and I got scammed. Worrying about what people were thinking about me. I couldn't read minds. Why did I care? I still can't remember those feelings. All along, people might have been admiring me. I had convinced myself I was stuck in that place of my beliefs about what I thought people thought about me. When I think about my journey from Alvin Ailey, through The Lion King, through the Harlem School of the Art, through American Ballet Theater, there were things that happened. Things that were uncomfortable, things that could make me very, very angry and bitter, things that could derail parts of my life if I held on to them. I remember them, and they still hurt when I think about them, but I have managed to detach myself somewhat from them and let go. And let go doesn't mean forgive. Let go doesn't mean forget. Let go means do not let your current state, your presence in your life now, be impacted by things that are out of your control, that happened in the past, that don't necessarily matter at the moment. I could be very angry about things, the money I've lost, the friends I've lost, the situations I've had. I try to look forward with positivity and optimism, thinking about the gifts that I have, the blessings I have, to push myself through these tough times. We can all be very angry about what our politicians are doing and what they're not doing. If you hold on to that stuff, you will be miserable. I am physically sick sometimes when I hear the things that are happening to people, the things that are happening in our government right now. It is shocking and disgusting and horrifying, and I have no control over it. What I can control is how I interpret it. What I can control is how I navigate it. What I can control is how I take care of myself in this space. That's where you put your energy. Okay, let's talk about how to let go. First, you have to acknowledge the importance of letting go and how it might benefit you. Know your why. If you don't know your why, your core, your passion, who you are, it's difficult to stay anchored during challenging times. Identify what you want to detach from and explore changes you might need to make in yourself to navigate that journey. You might not want to do it alone. There's always professional help to help you let go of the traumatizing things that have happened to you. Please always consider that. Take a moment to write down the negative emotions you feel and understand how they are impacting your life and the people around you. Keep in mind that hurt people hurt people. As Tamara Kulish, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing her name correctly, artist, writer, and photographer put it, heal from what hurt you, or you will bleed on those who didn't cut you. Read more about Tamara below. Make sure your life is happening in the now. There are things that happen that are unfair, that are unfortunate, that hurt. And they're hard to forget, so don't forget them. Put them and categorize them in your mind in a place that is safe, that's going to protect you and your well-being. Holding on to those things that happen to us can really drag us down and derail our lives. Try to find a way to let those things go without dismissing your feelings, without trivializing what happened. Easier to say, I know. I have had my share of things that are difficult to let go. But what kind of life do you want to live? One pining and brooding over bitterness and anger and hurt and pain, maybe even justified? Or saying, that's what happened, that's who I was, here is who I am now, and I'm going to move forward in love and light so I can be the best version of myself. I hope that's what we all want. That's what we're driving for here on this channel. So next up, we'll be here, playlist there, check them out, and thank you for watching. I appreciate you. I'll see you there.